Let's start with a question. How many of you guys have worn a tie? I'm sure that's a small amount, but an even bigger question is how many of you guys actually tied that tie yourself? Learning to tie a tie is a sort of rite of passage that you either struggle with until you go to Google or just ask your dad to tie it for you. But for me here today, I'm here to teach you how to tie a tie and why it's important. From the benefits of yourself and feeling confident in the best of your abilities, to the benefits it brings society by the nonverbal communication it brings, and the value the skill brings itself, I'm here to teach you about the Windsor knot, one of the most simple and easy to tie knots for a tie. The phrase look good, feel good may seem like a very simple 4 words, but in reality, there's some facts that are able to be brought up to back it up. A study by Berkeley Haas showed that students and individuals who dressed up in fancier clothing actually performed better than their non-fancy counterparts in terms of abstract thinking, strategic planning, and problem solving. Now, this might seem like a small increase at first, but it shows that when you embellish your outfit with either fancy things or just the extra touch of a tie or a bow tie, you're showing to yourself that you're showing up with a purpose and not just showing up to be there. And while these things might seem kind of little or just minute, these are actually very big things, especially in the workplace, that help bring your quality of work and just quality of life up. And whether you're going to job interviews, first dates, school dances, or even business meetings, the way you project yourself ends up showing up better in how you perform. Which leads us to our second point, the benefit to society. Imagine a group of people where they all feel their best and all are able to do their best just on the way they dress. By having a group of people who represent your company in their clothing in a way that's nonverbal, people have already began to make judgments about you as yourself or as a community before you've even made a word. In fact, a study done in Croatia with the National Library of Medicine found that people who were dressed up in ties and formal clothing were perceived as more ambitious, polite, and respectable than those who were not in their formal clothings. This shows that before you've even spoken a word, people have already begun to make a generalization about you and judge you before you've even had a chance to communicate or show what you have possessed in your head. Also, when you dress up in a tie, it helps to conform to societal norms we've made about dress codes. When things like weddings, funerals, job interviews, or just sitting around the house, there's a different type of attire that's kind of applied to each. From things like white tie and black ties, where you are full dress up, or things like business casual, like you're golfing, where it's just a polo and pants. There's a lot of different ways to represent yourself. So showing the tie shows that you're honoring this as a whole and just showing the society that you care. Not only that, in the military, according to Emmett London, the military used ties as a way to signify class and rank without having to use badges or anything else. A part of the military dress used ties with specific stripes to show the benefits of what your rank does and how to just show off your class as a whole. Not only that, the US and Japan still use and rely on formal clothing to signify class and accomplishment in the workplace and just to kind of honor the professionalism as a whole. Now that you've learned about the important parts of tying a tie, it's time to actually learn how to tie a tie. The Windsor knot is one of the most common knots used. And since it's going to be kind of hard to see with my hands, I have a couple of pictures to accompany me. So the first step is to line the tie over your neck and face the 2 ends up. You have your wide side on the right and your thin side on the left. You're going to use your right hand for the right side and your left hand for the left side. Take your right hand and bring it over the left and pinch it with your left fingers. Using your right fingers to pinch and pull the thick side through the bottom and out the front and back over to your right. It's important to pinch these to make sure they hold and so you don't lose control of the tie. After you've done this, you're going to bring the wide end around the back and around your left side and bring it back in through the front, similar to how you did the first step. Now this step is very important to hold the pressure here so you don't lose it, and it should look something like this. Once you've seen these 2 steps where you have the 2 lines and the thin part coming out the bottom, you know that you're in the right spot. Now, you're going to take the wide end of the tie, and while pinching the back, you're going to bring it around the front and over one finger, and keep bringing it around the back. Once you've gotten to a full rotation on the back, you're going to take the top of it and bring it all the way through. And now the part where you left your finger in the bottom, you're going to lift up and put it through that hole, and then until you get to that finger, you're going to pinch it down and pull it all the way through. Once you get to this step, you can finish tying and straightening out and just kind of tightening it up using this side. But as you notice, there's still that bottom part here, and it's a little bit away from your neck. Use the bottom part here to pinch and tighten up to your neck like this. You might have to measure a couple times, and ties take practice. So eventually, once you can get it right, you'll learn that this should be about here, and your tie should end up about where your belly button or belt buckle is. And as all ties are a little bit different, Some ties are all silk and some ties are all materials. It's important to take the time to learn each tie, as some stretch more and stretch less. And not only that, it's important to learn your body type, to learn how you should angle the tie and where you should position it at so you can fully get it to match as well. Now that you've learned how to tie the Windsor knot and the benefits it brings, hopefully you can take this skill that you've learned and apply it to your next job interview, school dance, or meeting to not only look your best, but feel your best. Thank you.